Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu, King, Telliano. Is that you?
It is, and it's Slop for you.
This is episode 341 of Mic Check, Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check, Waifu is where you can get early access to the video version of this podcast. Is where you can get access to the Patreon exclusive podcast, The After Stories, where you can get access to the pre-show, which goes live 2 days before this episode airs. Shout out to the Patreon producer, which keeps the lights on explicitly. Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture Podcast. Fear, Semi Sensei, Frozen. T Money, fingers. Dad Needs to Talk. Check out Dad Needs to Talk. Christian the Archivist, aka Death Cypher, All for One, Matt, Rob, Stone, Matthew H. And last but certainly not least, TK Does Basketball. I don't know. I didn't think of anything
That's a
prior
good one.
to that.
I'll take
That's
it.
a good one. Mic Check Waifu is the anime podcast. It's brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. Central Time. We bring you anime seasonal anime topics, discussion, reviews, and more. This week, we got a special episode where we're going to have a little, I guess you can call it little experiments or little games, you could say. Exercises, if you will, for lack of a better term. We're going to do a couple of exercises. One involves creating a formal definition of slop to us, Mic Check Waifu, and we're going to bring in some listeners, specifically Fear and TCB. And yeah, we're also going to create a backlog, or not create a backlog because our backlog is already here. Trust us, but find a way to navigate the backlog a little bit better by attacking it. And we'll tell you how that a little bit later in the show. But before we get into that, as we start off every week of Mic Check Waifu, what is your episode of the week this week?
That's very hard.
It's a good week.
I feel like cinematically, JJK had like my favorite episode ever for JJK. I didn't need any of the action. It just felt like it was shot extremely well. It was crazy. I was like in the zone. I gotta go with, though, hear me out when I say this. Hear me out. Oshi No Ko. Just phenomenal fucking episode this week.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine if you didn't. So for me, I'm gonna pick. We did it last week, but I'm picking it this week. How JJK was for you cinematically, Hell's Paradise was for me. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. The backstory that was brought in, the artistic choices they made for that for the backstory segments, as well as just the animation in general is so clean, which is doing better than JJK in my opinion this season. Is while JJK has some particular moments that stand out, like the whole 4-minute rotoscope scene. This one, just everything is so clean and readable and digestible when it comes to the emotion of what Hell's Paradise is. And I find that to be much more appealing to me than JJK, even though JJK is fucking also like elevated the anime genre when it comes to animation. But I do believe Hell's Paradise deserves, which ironically are both done by Mappa. So, I mean, makes sense. But they both feel good to watch. But Hell's Paradise this week and this season in general is killing it. I also made the executive decision this week to skip Sentence to Be a Hero. I skipped it. I did not turn it on. I'm not fucking doing this no more. Because of and I did that only in protest this week. I'm probably going to catch up next week just to finish it off. But I did it in protest this week because of the conversation we had prior. Now, the conversation we had prior was about slop, and what we deem to be slop, or what we determined to be slop. And we never really came up with what we feel the definition should be for slop as a podcast. And I think that is important that we do that so that our listeners know that when we use the word slop, it means this, and it has a set mic check waifu definition. So I think that's going to be a fun exercise to put together some of the stuff Fear says, some of the stuff TCB says, some of the stuff we think, and go from there. Now, in the pre-show, Tel was bringing up a topic that I think it was a pre-show, or was it before the pre-show? It might have been a pre-show. It
was a show pre.
It was a show pre. He brought up the saying that as a collective, we need to do one thing and like switch to high dive or something like that. I'm gonna let you finish what you were saying there.
Okay, so I wasn't saying we need to.
Yeah,
I was saying that we could do that, but the issue with that is that it would not work, right? Which is what I was getting to, is that it would take the system's way too big. We could essentially try and say, hey, we're gonna all stop using Crunchyroll, move to high dive, stop using high dive, move to something else, or but the issue is if we did do that, right, in protest of slop anime, right, it still gets watched in Japan, so they still have that entire ecosystem and fan base there. So regardless of what we do, it's going to get digested, it's going to get watched.
And let me tell you, because when you were saying that, I'm like, yeah, that's just not correct. And let me tell you why it's not correct objectively. Because canceling a Crunchyroll or canceling a high dive would certainly affect Crunchyroll or high dive, Sony in itself. It would not affect anime in general. Mm-hmm. It would have the biggest effect on anime in general, not necessarily anime in general. But canceling Crunchyroll, canceling high dive will have a big effect on anime as a whole. We don't want a big effect on anime as a whole. That's not what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do is navigate slop, or the prevention of slop, or make people put forth effort in which we watch, and not watch slop. The goal is to not cancel Crunchyroll or not cancel high dive unless you want to send a statement to Sony or those overlords there. That's not the point. Mm-hmm. That will hurt anime in its entirety. The point is not watch the slop, because the way they navigate these metrics is the shows being watch times by people and the episode rule. I think what Netflix does, like a 3 episode rule or a certain amount of hours per episode watched in order for it to count as a view. That's what we have to do. So the goal is to not watch slop in general, which is why my protest of Sentence to Be a Hero, while albeit just me not going to be effective, would be more effective than just canceling Crunchyroll. You know what I'm saying? So,
but what is effective is you voicing your statement right now, right? Mm-hmm. So everyone listening, if you agree with Polow, the ideal thing to do is just like Polow, just stop watching.
Don't
it, right?
watch slop.
The issue is the different types of slop there are that we've discussed, right? And the people that enjoy it, because people are going to
absolutely
continuously enjoy it. We have to, as a collective, say this does seem, and this is why, like I think I said, I made some statements about production value does not equal, like a low production value does not equal slop or carelessness, but carelessness does equal slop.
Yes.
And I know we'll get to an actual defined point, but that's just kind of going to point in a little bit more of the direction that I believe that slop is. There is a level of like carelessness that we have to pay attention to, that says, okay, they don't care about this show and they're literally just trying to make a bag off this.
Yeah.
Or they don't care about this show and it's literally just something to throw out while they're probably working on something else. They just literally put their least effort into this, and we should stop enjoying this or stop putting our time into this and let them, and just let, like, and also it's a multiple things, finish one. Let them finish and work on the things that they want to put out, but we should also be patient as viewers, as a community, because we're so eager to jump on the next big thing. They're super hype or super rushed or they put an emphasis on pushing things out frequently.
Yeah.
When if they didn't have to push it out frequently and they could take more time with it, there would be less slop objectively because they can take their time.
You could say that, but then you get examples like One Punch Man season 3. So 6-year gap. You know what I'm saying?
That felt rushed though. You know what I mean?
But a 6-year wait time. It was a 6-year wait time for it to be rushed.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They didn't work on it for 6 years. Like, imagine if they worked on One Punch Man for 6 years. You know what I mean? That's not what happened. They were told that, hey, there are 12.5 million fans right now waiting for One Punch Man to come out. They're waiting for that season, and it's like, okay, so we got to put it out. We got to do something.
For 6 years,
slapped some crap together and threw it out. Man, I did not watch that One Punch Man, and I hate that I didn't watch One Punch Man. I hate that.
I watched 3 episodes.
I wanted to watch it so bad.
But that's a perfect example of why we shouldn't continue that type of stuff. While the voices on Twitter are loud or whatever, but Twitter is so small and it's such a minute piece of anything that it just doesn't even matter. While they are a loud vocal minority, they're still the minority when it comes to voicing their opinion on shows and stuff, albeit it being effective because that's where universally and culturally both Japan and US kind of comes together and voice their opinions on shows all together, even though it's an absolute cesspool, which I think is just terrible for us as a community or us as a people in general. But I digress. That's a whole different conversation. But again, my thoughts, it goes like this. And we talked about this in the Discord, and we all agree that we all know that we are the problem. We are the problem when it comes to slop anime because, as we talked about last week, with certain shows and what we kind of named or deemed to be considered slop to us, we continue to watch that shit, man. But I think it's better for 2 people to watch it to tell 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000 or 3,000 or however many is listening to this podcast a week to not listen. You know what I'm saying? To not watch the shit that we're watching. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's okay for us to do that, to say, don't do it. But I do think we're the problem too, because then the way we talk about it, people gonna want to watch it. I gotta see this. Yeah,
and you got to think about it. You got to think about it. There's going to be a slop that comes out that you and I are going to be like, I'm watching this and terrible. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's objectively bad. We'll even say it's objectively bad. This is bad anime right here.
Guilty.
And we will be like, go ahead and watch it. Go ahead and get, and not even, we wouldn't even say that. We wouldn't even say go ahead and watch. We would say you shouldn't watch this. But we're going to talk about it like we're sitting there thoroughly enjoying it because we are enjoying it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is that even with, because I think we both agree that, you know, like I was kind of saying, sometimes people just get too much dopamine from things that happen too fast, right?
Yeah.
We don't need the constant gratification of some things. And it's the TikTok brain rot, stuff like that. But sometimes even those of us who think that way are going to fall into the trap.
Yep.
When it comes to some of these shows, because they are enjoyable. Like I'm literally watching Reborn as a Dragon Hatchling. It's not good, man. But man, I'm enjoying it. I can't lie to you. I can't lie and say I'm not enjoying it, but I'm not talking about it. I'm not telling everybody, hey, yo, you should watch this. This is top tier. Yeah. I'm not doing that because I'm not going to tell people, come watch this show.
But you are that view. You are that view.
I am that view. And I hope that I hope that they not getting a bunch of views. Mind you, I should go check to see how it's doing. But that is the thing that I can say. I know I'm watching slop. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard for me to sit down and enjoy it. Like I'm watching, like Polow said, Sentenced to Be a Hero this week. And I was like, all right. We got somewhere for 2 seconds. The first 20 minutes was
all right. So
spinning its wheels in dirt.
I didn't watch it this week. So I said I wasn't going to talk about the show anymore, but I got a question. and answer it honestly. Tell if you can recollect. I know it's a little bit hard because you watch a lot of stuff and you got a lot going on and you know, blah, 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 blah. But hear me out. Did they have a discussion at the beginning of the episode that mentioned a major plot point that's possible that could possibly happen in the moment, and then that major plot point actually happened in the moment in that same episode?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just checking. Just making sure. Now, I didn't watch it.
And also, we were sentenced to be a hero.
God, perfect. Okay. So, and
that was in the first few minutes.
I'm going to finish the show, but I just that belays my point. Okay. Now let's get into the definition. Let's find a mic check waifu actual definition. Now we discussed great conversation as always with TCB in the Discord on the episode form post. He always bring good conversation. He did assume that we call Don Don Slop. That I had an issue with because I would never call Don Don Slop, even though I hate the show. There's a difference between disliking a show and finding the show to be slop or considering the show slop. Mm-hmm. And Don Don definitely isn't slop because it does have a lot of care, a lot of effort. It's just, story choices is terrible. Characters are terrible.
And I do think Polow and I both agree that like all of the spirit aspects of that show are phenomenal. Quality. Like the characters in that regard are crazy good. Like every time they've introduced one has been,
it's everything.
It blew my mind that they could even do that they could write that.
This is perfect because what you're saying is, they could write that, but it's not original. It's it's based off of lore or I guess you can call it what they call it.
That's true.
It's based off of something that's already predetermined in the history of Japanese culture. So that it's not of its own original ilk for the most part.
That's true. But the storytelling that they do with it.
Yes. The characters that we deal with these predetermined, what's the word I'm looking for? And why can't I think of this simple word? Oh.
Historical figures, pre-established, predetermined. That's kind of where I feel like all that. I feel like you're in the right area.
All that predetermined stuff. It's the original characters that the author himself created that are absolute god awful, trash, perverse, and just unethical, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Anyway, did that mean the writer is good then? No, I don't think so. I just think he just took pre-existing historical culture and spend it in his own way that is terrible. But anyway, all right. Now slop. Let's get to the definition. TCB says he feels like I feel like what Don and I does is executes this character doesn't story, visuals, and in between stuff that makes it a good series. It only does two of the three. It only does one of the things right. It does well, and that's a story. But I still wouldn't consider that slop. I think where we're going when we talk about slop is chasing what would you say? Chasing a trend?
Yeah, chasing a trend
is where we can start.
Yeah, let's start there. That's that. So, we've talked about this before. The influx of like the high school anime. Mm-hmm.
So Chivalry Still Night, Isekai War, or Asterisk War,
Asterisk War,
Infinite Stratos.
Like I said, Unbreakable Machine Doll, Infinite Stratos, all of that. And then they've had a bunch that were slop where it was like they tried to do like where they had one where it was a bunch of women and he was like the only way they could fight. And they had a bunch of different ones that were just like ridiculous, right? Yeah. But it's slop. Objectively, it's slop. Now, but then you'll have. Go ahead.
But why though? Is it because it's mimicry, or is it because it's chasing that trend specifically and not giving it enough care or thought?
So I would never say mimicry. Mimicry exactly. Because, and I say this in regard to like, you think of like major artists, all major artists had to learn from something. They looked at artists before them to kind of get an idea as to where they wanted to go. Yeah. Basquiat being an artist who didn't necessarily mimic things, but he did take inspiration from things. You'll have like MC Escher who didn't mimic things, but took inspiration from things. And those are like more recent artists who are huge in terms of like what they did and what inspiration they gained from others. So I wouldn't necessarily say mimicry exactly. What it is I would almost say making a mockery of the mimicry, if that makes sense.
Expound. So
mocking what you're attempting to mimic and almost like degrading it, downgrading it. So when we were talking about the and I can't remember the name of it. God, I wish I could think of the name of it, but it was basically like a guy and he has this group of girls and they're fighting with him. It's not like the Chain Soldier joint, right? It's not like that, but it was like, it was so much worse than Chain Soldier, and that's exactly what makes it crazy.
Yeah, I can't think of the name either.
But they literally fight, and the women are, it's ecchi.
Yeah,
which
you're like to rub all over them or something like that to get the power activated.
Yes,
or some bullshit.
Get the power activated, and it doesn't feel like. It feels like it's trying to just lean into getting the viewer excited for something without actually giving them a story, without actually giving them a true hook that leads into actual development of the show. It's like, hey, you come here for the same thing every week and it's garbage. Like they're and sometimes they're not even trying to hide that it's garbage, if that makes sense. It could literally just be the upfrontness of how it's attempting to not be good. And I say that
this is the thing though, we're still talking in subjective thoughts, right? Like I guess where we should go is, okay, let me just read what Fear said. Okay. He says for his definition of slop, because I asked him, he said we need so this is brought to you by Fear, by the way. He says we need a textbook definition of anime slop. And I said, I agree. So what would you say is your definition of it? And he says anime in a genre that is heavily saturated, that mimics the same tropes within that genre while being poor graphically and concept wise. The issue is right now it seems too subjective what is slop or what isn't. The isekai genre as a whole is saturated, but even with typical tropes, it has some new additions, vending machines, sword. And then he said you could see, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, so I got to get close to the screen. Hold on. He says, you could say that it's a different object doesn't change the story, but I do think it does. I personally wanted to call it slop, but can't. I feel like slop cannot and should not be appreciated in any way to make it deemed slop. Since it's to be a hero, I can't say it's slop because it excels graphically, but not in the story or direction. I think if we both were to I think if we both were bad, it would be slop. If both were bad, it would be slop. Sorry. Just another poor clone. See, now that is where I'm starting to lean towards, since it's to be a hero, becoming slop because of everything you just said. While it excels graphically, it is literally a clone of something like Hell's Paradise, but poorly done, poorly told. It's a clone of something like, I mean, you pick another ragtag group of people coming together, fighting some big evil. And I can guarantee you it's better than this, the Clavitas. Right.
So, and I agree with a lot of that. And I think that, for instance, where I will put Sentenced to Be a Hero in slop is because of specifically carelessness, right?
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about before. To me, it feels like the story is careless. It feels like they're overemphasizing a point that is attempting to be the hook, but they could literally just develop everything else around that, and you wouldn't have to tell us the hook every single time.
And they don't give us any they let no discoverability go to the side of the viewer discovering it. They tell you it in every single episode. Every single episode, they touch on something that could happen, and guess what? It does happen in that same episode. And that to me is sloppy. It's very, very sloppy. Yeah. So now, reading what Fear said, even though he says he doesn't consider it slop, I think the definition of slop, and this is just part of it, obviously we can retool it as this conversation goes, to me is the lack of, okay, here we go. Let me put this in words. The lack of thought behind its writing, So I guess that it kind of encompasses the world, characters, etc. Lack of thought in its writing, and what's another way we could put it? Because I do like the whole saturated using the same tropes thing, right? I do like that piece of it too.
Because if you're just copying it, you're not thinking.
You're not doing your own thing. Yeah. Right. So.
But like I said, there is a way to copy things and, you know, do your own spin on it.
Absolutely.
But obviously there are so many shows who do it poorly. We talked about the Darwin's Game, 8-second death game.
Yeah.
The other one that we absolutely hated, even though we thought it sounded like it was gonna be amazing. I can't remember what it was.
Tomodachi?
No, Tomodachi Game, not that one. It was another one.
It wasn't that bad.
Where they were all like these other students, and they got there, and it was like, was it the llama head dude?
Oh yeah, I do know exactly what you're talking about.
And we thought it was going to be good, and it was like garbage.
Yeah.
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 But yes, and like I said, I think that, like I said, I'm gonna say the same thing. I think it leans into the carelessness aspect of it, where I'm not sure why they're producing something that they're lacking all that detail on.
Yeah, I even think that in this particular case with Senses to Be a Hero, I know we keep bringing it up, but it's the perfect example of this. Is TCB keeps stating that it's the way that they're adapting a light novel. I don't think that's an excuse as to why the story is being told this way, because again, some of the GOATs are light novels. Fucking ReZero, Jobless Reincarnation. These are light novels. Overlord. These are light novels first that are adapted brilliantly. That tells very in-depth stories, like quote unquote Sentenced to Be a Hero is supposed to do in this light novel. That has much more detail, much more granular detail than Sentenced to Be a Hero ever has. That the whole it being a light novel excuse isn't a good one. So for a perfect example of what anime slop is, I think Sentenced to Be a Hero will be considered it, because it's taken with little care. Now, I will say the effort that the studio is putting into it is very much high tier, and without it, the show would be nothing.
And here's the other thing I was thinking about is that, like, and I know that some of our fans, friends, and listeners love the show. Sakamoto Days. I'm not going to necessarily say that's slop.
I hate that fucking show.
Yeah, I'm not going to necessarily say that's slop, but we know a lot of people like Sakamoto Days.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. Polow's not necessarily one of them either. But I could never say it didn't look good.
Right.
But just because something looks amazing, like we said before, doesn't disqualify it from being slop. And as a Fate fan, right? There's a lot of Fate that has no story to it at all. And if you don't, and I would even say some of it is slop if you don't already understand what the world is, which I hate to say it, that doesn't necessarily qualify it as slop. But if you just jumped into a random Fate series, no context on what's going on, you would think like, what there's no preface for this.
Right.
So it would almost feel sloppy. Like the people who did this, they just cared that it looked good. They didn't care that there was a overlapping story for it or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm starting to get grasp. Sometimes context in terms of what you're putting out matters as well. You can't just throw something out to the large world of anime and think that this is going to land or hit. When you sent out Sentenced to Be a Hero, you gave us this high key. This name was kind of hard. I actually kind of liked the name. Yeah.
But then you gave me what to me feels like a constant redundancy.
What about this? Because I just looked up something. And the word that comes up a lot is formulaic. So content that in formulaic means content that heavily relies on popular or unoriginal trends of or clones of popular shows to attract viewers.
Yes.
Yeah. So as far as Slop goes, formulaic, a formulaic show with Sisters to Be Hero in it. Now, with I don't know. Let's go. What do you?
Yeah, I think formulaic, carelessness, mockery. And I say that because like all those, and it has to be some of those things, right? It can't be all. It doesn't have to necessarily be all three of those things, right? Because I'll even go as far as say like I've talked about before, Crayon Shin-chan, not a necessarily great show, but for an Adult Swim series, it mocked it. It was definitely a mockery, but it mocked more real life, and it mocked comedy. I think that the attempt for what it was supposed to be was very intentional, so it didn't feel careless. So I would say that Crayon Shin-chan, I wouldn't necessarily put in Slop, but it also just was like, it's a hard show. Like you look at it, you would think this is not going to be anything worthwhile. But I think that it made very many points that was supposed to, but it was also very careless in some aspects of like how it presented itself. There was no actual through line, but it wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah. I'm putting these words together. What I'm doing is I'm typing in a notepad, trying to put it in a defined term. So the defined terms we got formulaic, carelessness, and what was the last one?
Mockery. Then you could do things like how like you might sensationalize something, right? And that's where they constantly mention that Sentenced to Be a Hero. Like they prioritize the clickbait of that name or the beauty or looks of it instead of actually caring about what's happening. It's like the fan service or shock value. And like an overcrowded market, that would be something like we talked about with the battle royale, that it's the oversaturated market.
Okay.
We talked about this before. Characters who are broken or strong for just no good reason.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily strong, but no other development outside of that.
Sorry, my spelling is going to be real terrible. You know what? Side tangent. You know what I hate about growing up in the era that we did, millennials? This is very much a fucking after story topic that doesn't have anything to do with it. We grew up in the era where we had to learn how to spell. Okay. Where we had to learn how to spell properly. But then you grow up with the internet. And the internet slowly deteriorates your ability to spell because of spell check, fucking shit like that just makes spelling you don't need to do it no more. And it's so frustrating. Because it pisses me off. Because I can't spell words I used to know how to spell.
Like what, bro?
Formulaic. I used to know how to spell formulaic, but now I gotta look it up. I got it right here. Shout out to Google. You got it. Oh, you just finished it. Here we go. Anime that feels formulaic in structure. Right? So the structure of the anime is very formulaic. Here. I'm typing because I can't.
Okay.
Green things in the way. Formulaic in structure. And then we got the word carelessness. I'm gonna write carelessness and mockery. So we got to figure out a way to put this into the definition. Created with visible carelessness, because obviously that's the animation. Or no, because it doesn't even have to be animation. It could be in writing too.
Okay, so yeah.
So visible carelessness in writing, animation, or production. i.e., the what's that one? Magical High School versus something like Infinite Stratos. You know what I'm saying? The school ones we talked about earlier, or Shiver of a Fell Night versus fucking the one you talking about where the fuck they gotta basically hump on each other to get power out of them. It's fucking ridiculous, by the way. And then we gotta add mockery in here somewhere. Okay, Tell's typing. Or oh no, here we go. Because you remember what we talked about with Senses to Be a Hero. What does Senses to Be a Hero do? It fucking mocks our intelligence.
Yeah.
So something like making a mockery of our intelligence or something like that. Due to a reliance on shallow characters, obvious storytelling, or no, leaving plot. I can't think of it. Leaving plot devices. No. Okay. Oh shit. Here we go.
All right. So I put or mocking the viewer's intelligence with unimaginative storytelling and plot devices, as well as the genre it is attempting to present.
Yeah, there it is.
Represent. Let's put represent.
There it is. Boom. Okay. So this is what we have for defining anime slop. For Mic Check Waifu. Now you can take this or you can keep it. Just know that this particular podcast here determines that this is the anime definition of slop. So defining slop. Anime that feels formulaic in structure, presented with carelessness and writing, animation, production, or mocking the viewer's intelligence. Now, remember that or is very important. Actually, matter of fact, let's capitalize the or. Or mocking the viewer's intelligence with unimaginative storytelling and plot devices, as well as the genre and it's attempting to represent. As well as the genre is attempting to represent. Yes. Yes, because the one thing that's so frustrating, again, and sorry to use this one as the example of Senses to Be a Hero, because even Black Clover don't do this. Even Black Clover leaves something to the imagination of the viewer to discover or to see as a surprise, and that's just tell you. Perfect example, like we talked about it last week. I saw me use last week, and that's the last episode I saw was. I don't fight humans. I'm very uncomfortable with fighting humans, says the goddess. What's the main character's name? The forgettable dude?
Xylo
says, there are demons pretending to be human. Boom. Those are two key major points that were mentioned in that episode. Just to find out 15 minutes later, when they get into a fight with a person that the goddess says, oh, I didn't feel uncomfortable with attacking that guy, even though she didn't attack the guy. I didn't feel uncomfortable with wanting to attack that guy.
Even though she didn't attack that guy. That's crazy.
And then come to find out at the very end of it, he's a fucking demon that looks like a human. I say all that to say that mocking my intelligence, trying to make me think I'm stupid or treating me like I'm stupid pisses me off more than anything. I consider Senses to Be a Hero the official definition of Mic Check Waifu Slop because of that piece of it. Now, animation is fine. The production is fine. But that's why that or in that definition of anime slop is so important.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because that mocking the viewer's intelligence is crazy.
Yeah. And
it's like it's expecting you to have very little common sense of watching it. And mind you,
cognitive thinking at all. Even
when we say this is our definition of slop, it doesn't even necessarily mean that you have to not enjoy it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because let's also be fair.
Yep.
Polo and I are watching 20 plus, 30 plus anime this season.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you do need something to turn your brain off to.
Yes.
Let's
indeed.
just be honest. If this is your show for that, cool. If you have a hard time, sometimes a hard week at work, hard week at school, whatever you're doing, and you're like, I need to turn on something that helps me decompress, and I don't even want to think about what's going on the screen. I want it to just tell me before it even happens. I need the narrator because that's just kind of what I want this week. I'm not judging you for that.
Tell me before it even happens.
I'm judging you on the fact that, hey, I appreciate you to watch anime. That's what I'm judging you on. But am I judging Sentence to be a hero? 1,000%. I'm judging Sentence to be a hero. I think that you deserve better.
I love when Tell get into tell him mode. It's the best. When he's talking to the audience.
You deserve better.
Jack of all trades, party of none is Slop. Mm-hmm. And I enjoy it. So that is a perfect example of us being part of the problem.
Yeah.
And shout out to All For One, Matt, one of our Patreon producers, he says, quote, I don't mind being a problem. I do in this particular case because it's going to continue to give us more slop. But then again, I don't because I mean, as more anime that comes out, the easier it kind of makes our job here. So, whatever.
Right.
All right. So now let's get into what we are here to do. Tell. It's time for Set in Stone. But this time, Set in Stone is for us to create a list of just 5 shows that we're going to have out of our backlogs. Out. We're fully watched and done. 5 shows and in order in order of importance. So let's set that in stone. Shout out to the Patreon producer, Rob Stone, who is the founder of that particular topic. Not really the founder, but you know what we're trying to say. Who is the curator of this list. This particular list of our backlog. Now, I'm going to go into my anime list and I'm going to be overwhelmed with the amount of shows that I have that's in my anime in progress that I need to finish.
I have at least one already that I'm going to watch that I feel like will be easy. I think I got 2.
Okay. You're better than me.
Yeah. Literally, and they're right on top of each other. Cool.
Okay.
Actually, this is already done. I don't even know why I didn't mark that as completed. It's in my backlog sitting there.
All right. Oh, okay. Now this can include shows we started and didn't finish, by the way.
Yes.
So even if you're fucking 3 episodes behind on a show, as long as it gets completed, that counts. In my particular case, I have a lot of that. I love it, Met Ghost. I just saw that title and it just makes me happy. Okay, so my number 5. And again, this is going to go from so important to not so important. But my number 5 is going to be 2.5 dimensional seduction. This is when I started. This is when I started that I really did enjoy. It's about cosplaying in this class. It's a really good show, actually. But the problem is it was 24 episodes and it came out in the split between 2 seasons. So it came out in summer of 2024 and then it finished in the winter of 2024, theoretically. It's 72% on Annie list, so it's rated pretty high. It was, like I say, I got 11 episodes in out of the 24. I'm going to finish that one. So that's number 5, 2.5 dimensional seduction. Really good show, though.
I remember you watching that one.
It was good, man. It was real good.
What stopped you from finishing it? Again,
it was part of another season. So when it went to another season, I didn't have time to continue watching it because I was watching the other stuff for the new season.
All right. Now, don't kill me when I say this, but I just didn't finish it. But I'm going to finish it, okay?
So this list is for number 5 for Tell.
Number 5 for me is Mission Yozakura Family.
Oh, shit.
I did not finish that first season.
27 episodes is crazy. I got to episode 7 myself.
Yeah, but that I don't even think the 27 episodes is necessarily that bad. Mostly because we've read, I'm pretty sure whatever this 27 episodes is, we've probably read it.
Yeah, which we got like 55 or somewhere around there in the chapters.
So I'm not bothered by that per se. I'm just bothered by the fact that I didn't finish it, but I know why I didn't finish it.
Yeah, yeah. It's reasonable, I think, right? Like we were just like, we'll just wait till it's done. I think that was our that was our thought. Like we read it already, but you know.
But that's it. I'm adding Mission Yozakura family to my list.
For me, number 4. I want to finish it. Yeah, hell yeah, I want to finish this. The Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent 2. I don't think I finished
that one.
I don't think I finished season 2. Let me check my because I can go to Crunchyroll because it's on Crunchyroll. I did not. And you know why I didn't? Because I was waiting for the dub to be done and I forgot all about it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it was.
I can see that.
Yeah. That's definitely one that's getting done. For sure. Easy. That'd be one I'll enjoy.
My very next one also begins with the M. And it's right there. Where is it at? Monogatari series off and Monster season. This is the one I had already started. And it's a short ONA season. 14 episodes. I think that I can actually knock that one out relatively quickly. And I think I actually should have finished that one. Because it was actually pretty good from where it started off at.
Okay. This is fun because I'm seeing a lot of shows. I'm like, damn, I never finished that, huh? And I'm going to Crunchyroll and I'm confirming that I did not ever finish it. My next one, man, is going to be the Irregular at Magic High School season 3. Now there is a movie, and I'm not sure if the movie is a part of it. Visitor's arc. No, so it looks like it's just a visitor's arc, which means that visitor arc I did complete, which was consider season 2. Yeah. So Irregular Magic High School season 3. Absolutely. My number 3.
Goodness gracious. All right. My number 3. Can we count movies?
Yeah. Whatever. Like I said, you can have shows that you are almost done with anyway.
All right, I'm gonna add this one because I'm literally episode 15 and it's 24 episodes.
That works.
Gachiakuta.
Oh God. Okay. All right. Yeah.
yeah.
You know?
I'm almost done. Might as well go ahead and throw that in there.
For me, Tower of God season 2. I'm only in episode 8. And it's 26 episodes. I gotta get in there. I gotta complete that one.
Did you ever read that one?
I don't think I read up this far. I don't remember how far I got actually. I thought I was in the hundreds. But I don't remember. But it's a lot of fucking chapters of Tower of God, so
that's true.
What number are we on for each of us?
You're at number 2, so you're gonna hit number 1.
Okay.
I gotta finish because I really enjoyed this one. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun season 2. Which personally, that's when I should have been finished. Because I really enjoy that series. But I know that season, I think I just had a lot going on. I figured I'd just do it when it was completed.
I see. And for me, my final one is super easy. My number 1. This has to be done. So this is probably going to be the first thing that gets done on this list. And that's the... I wonder if you got this done on yours. Let me see. Doesn't look like it. So I'm surprised you didn't add it. But it's the Misfit Demon King Academy 2 Cour 2. Remember, Cour 2 came out super late in comparison to the first Cour of season 2. So I got to finish the last 12 episodes of the Misfit Demon King Academy 2 Cour 2. that came out in the spring of 24, and we didn't even touch it. Well, I didn't touch it. According to my following list, you didn't either.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that too, because I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, like that's very important that we get that done.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense, because that's a series that I think we both really enjoy
and love. Actually,
it just
honest
got done dirty.
Yeah, it definitely did with that long ass break. Like, come on, man.
I swear.
All right, so let's wrap with our final list of the set in stone, the backlog. My number, let me just go through the list. And I'm not going to say the numbers. Started from 5 to 1, but 2.5 Dimensional Seduction, Saints Magic Powers Omnipotent Season 2, Regular Magical High School Season 3, Tower of God Season 2, and the Misfit Demon King Academy Season 2, Cour 2.
Mine is number 5. Well, we ain't gotta say that. Mission Yozakura Family, MONOGATARI series, Off and Monster Season, Gachiakuta, Telliano Hanako-kun Season 2, and that's also gonna be part 2 of that season as well. And then Misfit Demon King Academy Season 2, Cour 2.
Nice and done. Nice and done. And then, okay, we got that done. So, you want to go into a quick spoiler conversation on Oshi No Ko Season 3, Episode 7. Just a quick one. Because I want to discuss something that I thought was very keen, that I was very keen on in this episode. I thought this episode was spectacular as always. Oshi No Ko is one of the best shows ever, to be honest. And I finally got my wife to start watching it, so lucky me. She cried during the first episode. Anyway.
You're right.
But I say all that to say, shout out to TCB for mentioning the fact that the order in which the things that were done in this season when it came to Kana's situation, Arima Kana is her name, and Yakane situation, those are flipped as far as the order in which it was told. It's funny because when I was watching it, this is before I even knew they were flipped. I felt like that's how it should have been. I felt like they should have been flipped because I do feel like that him telling the secret, that the fact that their mother was killed and blah, who their mother was and blah, 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 him revealing that to the world, I think was such a part of the plan to get what Akane was working on out in the open even more, so he can move with a little bit more freedom when it came to finding the true killer. I thought that was so fucking well done, by the way, in which they did flip it, because now we got the situation to where people feel like he did that for Kana, like it was especially for her. And I didn't feel that, even though that's what it was stated in the show. It's so interesting to me because I didn't read it. So I didn't know that it was even a thing that they did.
Yeah. And oddly enough, I'm trying to think about like how even that was animated, right? I definitely think that even if they switched them still, it wouldn't feel out of place. If they switched like even the last 2 episodes, it wouldn't really feel out of place. It would feel like I did this and she just didn't know that this was done to fix her issue. Right. They might have to do like a little ending snippet of that last few minutes and switch it to this episode or to the previous episode. But even then, most of those 2 episodes can relatively easily be swapped,
which is so cool to me.
Yeah.
I like Akane more, by the way.
Even more now?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
She's a real one. Yeah, she's so real, man. Like, she's like, yo, fuck this. I'm not going to let him suffer through this. I got this. Which is, again, not the right answer. It's not the right answer at all whatsoever. No. Because
it was the right answer.
What you mean? To us, it was the right answer, but it's not the right answer for her. She don't like throwing away her great career that she got going on right now. She got a lot going on for herself that is great, and I understand that you love Aqua, but doing something this vitriolic and just life changing and career ruining and it would just, all right. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
She's smart. She's smart. Let's say she do get cornered by bro. And he's like, oh, so you already know what happened with I and Aqua and Ruby and all this stuff. He's like, I already paid attention and recognized that they look extremely so much like me. You know, because he's not going to be a stupid dude.
Yeah, he already know. They mentioned that last
He already know.
Yeah.
So if he already knows, and then she come across and is like, oh, you're my son's girlfriend, and he tries to pull a fast one.
Son's girlfriend? Would you?
If since the guy will know.
Oh, he's talking about
Aqua
him.
and Ruby are his. Yeah.
Sorry,
since you already know you're my son's girlfriend, let's go ahead and get you out the way now. Why do you have a knife on you? He ends up stabbed, whatever, right? She'd be like, look, I'm a celebrity. I walk around with a little bit of self-defense regardless. And I'm young. You know, I feel like I should be. I don't know if that's how that would work in Japan.
But there you go. Okay, so he started to recognize what he was saying. Maybe not work in Japan. It'll work here for sure, but not there. And that's where I was thinking to myself. I'm like, yeah, while she could pull the whole self-defense thing, it'll just be in Japan. It'll be looked at as her destroying this production guy's fucking life for whatever reason. Like, the whole point of why Aqua was stopping her is because she was going to get revenge for him. Nice. Great. But the point is to clarify that this is the guy that got my mother killed. And I think his goal is to find proof of that, to expose him for that first, and then do what he got to do. Because I think Aqua is that's the way he moves. I mean, he's a fucking doctor. You know what I'm saying? So
he's not stupid.
He's not stupid. So I say all that to say it sucks that Akane got dumped though. And
yeah, but it was for the best. And mind you,
you're absolutely right.
I don't feel like that push was an accident at all. You know what I mean? Like, they tried to frame it that way and make us look the other way. Like, everything just happened so quickly. Did you feel like that push was on accident, or you feel like it was on purpose?
It felt like it was on purpose.
Right. So to me, the way it was staged, I felt like it's that person knew what they were doing. It was they didn't accidentally just push her down the stairs. So for me,
was it Aqua's dad or Aqua?
I don't think it was, but I don't think it was. Well, I don't think Aqua would have staged that directly.
Me either. To
just put, because how would it be more poignant to push her into your arms? It wouldn't be.
Yeah.
So I don't think Aqua would have did that for that dramatic effect. I think that he was just there on lucky timing.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's something we got to pay attention to as viewers, because that was definitely a push.
And this show don't do stuff without a reason.
Yes, it don't do it without a reason. But the fact that Aqua and her just kind of moved on like it was an accident is what. Because I feel like we got to remember dude's face. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie to you. I feel like we got to remember dude's face. Like, I went back and looked, I was like, okay, do I got to think about who this is? Have I seen this face before? You know what I mean? Like, is this somebody that is going to spin the block again? Is he going to be at the agency when they finally get there and meet dad? I'm worried. You know what I mean? I'm worried.
True. Dude, not that I love the fact that we get to watch this. You know?
Yeah.
I think this is one of the ones that would suffer from, and again, most manga readers don't feel like this, but this is just coming from me personally. So this is kind of really subjective for my personal taste, but I feel like reading this would not be as cool as it is as I'm watching it. And it's only because of me. It's just the way I kind of perceive things. Because when I read JJK, and right now I'm still at the part where I've already read it, so it doesn't feel as impactful to me as it does for most people that are watching it new. I think it's so much cooler to watch this one week to week. Like, this is a preferred anime than manga, in my opinion.
Well, here's the thing, is that this show, it hits so many different layers well.
Yeah.
And with the type of anime it is, it's going to always be better in motion. And I say that because the sound production value on there is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, did you hear the music in here and how crisp it was, how good it was? And mind you, I got $400 headphones on. It was good. I was like, nah, this sounds amazing.
And even
on top of the voice acting, and I want to hear it dubbed. I didn't even listen to it dubbed
either. And even looking at what the particular panels that TCB posted in the Discord of the swap, right, the scene swap that was flipped around. The effect of when his eyes changed after they broke up was so, again, visceral is my favorite word to use this week apparently, but it was so visceral. So impactful. Then it feels this inside of the manga.
But I also, how did you feel? Because Ruby's eyes, one eye was black, one eye was white, right? And I feel like, is that white supposed to signify
want to protect her friend? I think.
Yes, but it was like, was it to push her brother forward, kind of like inspirational thing? Like it was strictly to want to do it for somebody else.
For Kana, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. I like that semblance though.
Me too. It was beautiful. It was so well done.
But they both on that balcony just looking cold. Yep. I was like, oof. Dude, I can't wait till they start acting in tandem and together.
To see when Aqua's eyes changed back to him, to get that, lack of a better term, motivation back, because he's going to be a whole different character again. Because if you remember when he first started, when he had the half spark in his eye, he was different. He was a completely different beast when it came to the acting and the movement around. And then he got comfortable. He coasted. He felt like it was all said and done. He got normal. He was trying to live his normal life, for it to just be discovered that she found out more. How do you think he found out that she was moving the way she was moving? Because now come on, it was just a Apple tag. It's not like it's a microphone on an Apple tag.
I don't think that, because I think the toy wasn't the only thing, right? I think he literally had her room because he heard what she said. You know what I mean? That's what he said. He heard what she said, who it was. That's how he knows who it is. He had her room literally bugged with microphones so that he could hear what she was saying. But he also works in the acting industry, though. He works in the field. He has worked with producers, so he knows how to get in and rig the system so he can listen to her when he need to.
Interesting. I want to see more into that.
Yeah,
because I need to know how that went. Because
he been setting her up from the beginning, which is wild. Yeah. He knew from the beginning. He was like,
she's too smart.
You good. I like you.
I'm so sad that he broke up with her. It hurts my heart. But
I mean, he didn't directly say, "Yo, I'm done with you."
No, he did.
He said, "I'm just never gonna be back in your life again."
Yeah, I'm about to say that's even more so of a break. It hurts, bro, because she was so raw, man. She was so rotted out. But that's the right move, man. You got to get her. Got to get out of that. Got to get her out of that, man. Incredible. But this episode has been incredible. I'm at Polow Borfly on all social media.
I'm at King Telliano on all social media.
Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MikeCheckWife, and our gaming podcast, youtube.com/@RespectGames. And as always, Mike check.
It was great to see you.
You're now tuned into Mike Check Waifu Waifu. Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you?